What up, Ramori Squad? It's your boy Ramori, and we've started The Artist Way. I've been doing morning pages for about 3 to 4 weeks already. I actually haven't got my hands on a copy of The Artist Way itself. So yeah, I decided to pick up The Artist Way and go through the process. I think I've done it before, but I don't really remember what it was like. I haven't done any of these, and I've just been doing morning pages, so I thought that I would record this weekly check-in, and I'm going to try doing this every week on Saturdays. Week 1 was recovering a sense of safety, and it's like recovery for your artistry and your creativity, and making sure that you are exposing to yourself how you've been blocking your own growth in terms of creativity when it comes to that. This chapter was very reflective. It was very much like, how should I put this? You know how you do like journaling and meditation for yourself? There's like these tasks were for your inner child, your artist self, who likes to have fun, just likes to, what hurt you in the past? Like who hurt you? Who said things that you didn't like? Like you're really healing that part of yourself, not you as your everyday walking person, but the person that shows up, the version of you that shows up when you're creating, like your inner child, the one who loves to create. That's kind of what this chapter was about. So the first question for this check-in, how many days this week did you do your morning pages? How many days did I do it? I think I only missed one day this week. I think that was the weekend when I went out. Thursday morning, I don't think I did it. I also didn't do it last Saturday and last Sunday. So let's say we did 5 out of 7. What was the experience like for you? Just thinking back on my first week, how my first week was, because technically this is not my first week, but I really remember being a lot more at peace with my thoughts, and I felt like I have a bad habit of oversharing information sometimes. I just talk too much and I say things that I shouldn't say. Not necessarily that's a bad thing, that's just something that I want to work on, to be more concise and intentional with how I say things. And I found that morning pages was a good way to, I want to say mitigate that, but to keep it under maintenance. Like I understood that certain thoughts were only for me, and there's other thoughts that are for other people, and I can share that with them. But having that discernment alongside with my meditation, with my morning pages, to really be aware of my thoughts and my feelings, and letting these periods of time pass. And my memory card ran out of data, so apologies for that, but I was talking about releasing thoughts into the actual morning pages in itself, and that being helpful because I have a lot more bandwidth to be able to provide the concise, the tactful thoughts that I feel is necessary for people to share, and then keep anything else just for myself. So the experience was very helpful. It felt like the book was a friend. My morning pages was a friend that I could just trust and not have to filter and just dump all my thoughts into. Sometimes I feel like I also express through people, or I'll think out loud, and that doesn't always provide the best outlook on how I see the world. It can be polarizing, that is what I'm trying to say, but I think doing the morning pages has been so helpful in grounding me and allowing my thoughts to be what they are, and allowing them not to make sense, and allowing them just to be and just to flow, and then being very conscious of that. It feels like the relationship that I have with myself, both as a creator and as a human in general, has greatly improved, because I treat the morning pages as if I'm my own friend. It's a form of therapy. It's very therapeutic to just word vomit and that be okay, and being able to get that out onto paper, because you get to pay attention to your thoughts and the way that they're coming across. Whereas even in therapy, or even when you're talking to a close friend or someone else, you still filter to a certain extent. The amount that you filter might be small or bigger, but you're still filtering. So the point of unfiltering has been very helpful with these morning pages in terms of my creativity and getting new ideas and thoughts that come through. And I really like this book because some of the things that I was talking about in the creative affirmations were speaking to the idea that we are being led, and our job as creators is just to listen, and we're being led by the creator, right? So I've always thought that, but it's cool to see the book affirm certain beliefs that I had about creativity, of like, it's not really me, I'm just listening, I'm just a vessel, I'm just open. And I think morning pages really fine-tunes that relationship you have with the frequency that enables you to create and pay attention to what you're told to do. It's like, I always call creativity an act of obedience. And And like, if you have a line, write it down. If something comes to you, write it down. If you have a melody, follow the melody and see where it takes you. Like, it's just an act of obedience, not putting our own expectations on it. So the morning pages has definitely been helpful for me in terms of understanding how I'm thinking and how I share that information. And then also when it comes to creativity in itself, being able to better listen to the thoughts that come and being able to discern which ones are my own thoughts and ones that are pushing me to be more creative and guiding me in a better path. So that was the first question. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? And we said 5 out of 7, and that was my experience. The second last question was, did you do your artist date this week? It says, yes, of course, we always hope, and yet artist dates can be so remarkably difficult to allow yourself. What did you do? How did it feel? So I really wanted a plant. I don't know why, but it just grabbed it. I'm in a plant mode right now. My girlfriend got a bunch of cool plants and like flowers for her show that she did, and I got inspired to also see what other plants and like make my space more livable. So I went to a greenhouse that I've always passed by in Brampton, and like it was super close to me. And the point of the artist date was to really allow myself to play on wild things that come to me. And it was very interesting because when I went there, I was just browsing and letting myself be led by whatever I'm led to. No intention about what I'm getting, just going there and seeing what happens. And as I'm browsing around the main area of the store, I saw that they had like a greenhouse in the back. I noticed that there was just a random cat there, and I love black cats. Like, black cats are like my favorite cats, and I haven't seen a black cat in so long. And there was a cat there named Jinx, and I was kind of talking to it, trying to include it into my practice of like, what is life trying to tell me to do through this cat? And the cat was just following me around, and it was really interesting. Not to put too much woo-woo-ness into the cat, but the cat's name was Jinx, and I thought that was hilarious because black cats are supposed to be a sign of good or bad luck. I think they're good luck, and I love black cat. But I was walking around and I saw this little girl playing with the cat. I was like, what the heck? There's a cat? And yeah, I was like, okay, this girl's taking too long with this cat. I want to play with the cat. I want to talk to the cat. And that's like my inner child. Like that's mine, you know? Even though I don't know the cat's not even mine, but it was cool to see that inner child come out in me of like, oh, I want to play, and allowing myself that opportunity through the cat. So then after the cat stopped following me to a certain point, when it was like, there was like a greenhouse warehouse where there's like a lot of indoor stuff, and then there's an outdoor section with plants in like a greenhouse, like the one with the glass and stuff. And then I went out there and I was just exploring and seeing what gravitated towards me. And there was a specific plant that I saw when I went to IKEA a couple years ago, it's been time actually. There was this plant called the touch me not plant. There's another word for it. It's called the shame plant. It's a very interesting plant because when you go near it and you touch it, it literally shrivels into itself. And I've never seen a plant move. And it was so freaky the first time that I encountered it when I was in IKEA, when I was like a teenager, because I thought it was being automated. But then I found out that plant that's just how it is. It's a plant that moves. And I realized that all plants are moving, all plants are living things. And for this artist date, I really wanted to practice sharing the life and appreciating life and caring for things, which is why I wanted a plant and to be able to connect with that. So I walked through the back. I was talking to the guy if he had the plant, and he didn't have this touch me not plant. So I was asking him questions about what type of plants are good for low lighting, because there's not a lot of light in this space, just that small one. And I was browsing around looking at pots and different stuff, and I saw that spot on that peace lily over there. Sorry, my bad, apologies. I was browsing the pot, so I saw that sculpture and I thought it was pretty cool. And then I was browsing, he came up to me and he offered that peace lily, and I was like, that's so interesting, because I've always been curious about lilies, and obviously I really like peace. And then it just became about finding the best sculptures to suit it and what stood out to me. And ironically, there was no other plants that stood out to me than the one that he brought. Like, there was other ones that stood out to me that were kind of red, but red and green and yellow, and they kind of look like a fire, like a burning bush kind of thing. But they needed more light. As you can see, I've changed. My camera died and I got ready in the meantime while I was charging. Yeah, rearranging my entire space in order to try to get a decent amount of light, but it is what it is. It's not as high as I wanted, but I do like the placement and I like the new energy in the space that I have within my space, so that was something that came out of the artist date that was super helpful. But yeah, overall it felt pretty good to be able to connect with myself and to be able to clear out any energy that's been stagnant. I feel like I have a lot of stagnant energy right now, and I've just been understanding it like I'm currently in a valley. There's going to be another peak that rises, but I can feel myself going back down. So I'm just embracing this valley as it comes, and hopefully changing up my space helps contribute to the new energy that's coming in. And it's going to be a different vibe. It's a new season, so I haven't changed the space since I've gotten here. This is the first time that I've done this, so I try to attribute that to me feeling ready, welcome, and present where I am, and accepting what life is providing for me so that I can be more grateful. So that's what I always try to, whenever I'm in a new space, to adjust things around to make it my own and to give it my own sense of flair. It's a bit of an adjustment and a bit of a difference between the first setup that I had for my space. So now I'm really grateful and really happy with how things are at the moment. I think the last question from the artist state, it's currently packed up in my book. The artist way, sorry, which the book is currently packed up in my bag, is if I face any issues or difficulties. And I think right now it's been very hard to be consistent with creating and feeling like the progress that I'm making is actually moving somewhere, because I feel like I've been grinding for a long time and haven't really seen progress or growth. So this week was very helpful to like write down different compliments and words of encouragement that people have said to me, or like why I feel like I'm not making progress, and different areas that helped me to reflect on why I feel the way that I do, and I'm not actually able to give myself the credit that is due. So this was very helpful for me to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the fact that I'm good at what I'm doing, and like progress looks different every day, progress looks different in the long run, and it's always, the efforts will never be wasted. So some of the issues that I've been facing is in terms of what I need to do and what I'm supposed to do, and if I'm doing the right thing. And it's been a period of recovery and shift and a lot of change, and preserving my thoughts and my perspective throughout this. So the morning pages and the artist state has definitely helped to spend time with myself, to really reflect, even though I am in a slump right now. I'll be very honest with you. I'm not feeling the greatest emotionally, physically. Like I don't feel the greatest. There's a lot of things going on my plate, so it's been helpful. It's definitely been helpful, these things, because I teeter on the point of breaking often, and I need to really rein myself in. But it's getting a lot easier with these morning pages and these artist states to really appreciate the nuances of life, to have fun and like to play, and not everything needs to be so stressful. And it allows me to create for fun and not create for the sense of that everything needs to be released, everything's for somebody else, and it can't just be for me. So this artist way journey week 1 is complete. I'll check in with you guys next week and let you know how it's going. But thanks for your time, thanks for watching. These videos are a bit chaotic, but it is what it is. Leave a like, leave any comments or questions you have about this process. I know there's a bunch of other people that did the artist way, and I'm curious to see how I changed throughout this 12-week program. So I'm really looking forward to the opportunity I have stumbled upon to remember about this book, to redo this journey. I did it the first time, I didn't do it properly, and this time I'm really making a point of doing it properly. So feel free to leave any comments or questions that you have along this journey. If there's anything helpful or insightful that you heard from what I was saying, please let me know if this is helpful. But this is helpful to me, and I wanted to make a point of finishing this video before I head out for the weekend, just to really connect in both from a journal perspective, from a video vlog perspective, and also from an emotional centered perspective. So I'm doing my best, guys. I'm doing my best to lock in and to really find peace, and to really do the right thing and try to be a better person every day. That's what the goal is, and to really speak my truth. That's always it. But memento mori, remember, you only live once. This is our lives. Let's live it how we like. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Sorry I haven't posted in a while, by the way, but catch you guys next time.